I want you to picture this for a moment. You wake up, reach for the edge of the bed, and feel that your legs do not answer the way they used to. It is not laziness, and it is not a character flaw. It is a quiet thief that hides inside your muscles and swaps living fibers for soft, sleepy tissue. Here is the twist that most people never hear. You can push that thief back starting today, not with a punishing boot camp, but with a handful of joint-friendly moves and a calm plan that asks for consistency rather than heroics. If you want a place to start while you are listening, try this gentle check-in. Sit tall on a sturdy chair, plant your feet, lean slightly forward, and stand up as smoothly as you can before sitting down again. That simple motion is a small signal to your legs that you are ready to rebuild. Now let me tell you why this matters and how I know it works. As a clinician who has walked beside older adults for many years, I have seen what happens when we train the body with a method called progressive strength training. You begin with a level that feels honest, you move with control, and you add a little more challenge once your form is steady. Guidelines from the American College of Sports Medicine and research, supported by the National Institutes of Health, show that older adults can regain strength and function within a few months when they follow this kind of plan, because muscle tissue remains responsive to the right stimulus even in later decades. Think of your body like a house whose foundation has settled. Harder pounding will only crack the walls. Patient pressure in the right spots lets you lift and shore the structure until it stands square again. Before we go further, I want you to hear both the promise and the caution so you can judge this fairly. The upside is real. When you train with gradual progression, you protect your joints, you wake up the big muscles that steady your steps, you improve the way you burn energy through the day, and you feed confidence with every small win. The gains carry over to daily life, from climbing stairs to lifting a bag of groceries to getting out of a low chair without bracing on your hands. There is another upside that you cannot see in a mirror. Stronger muscles support balance and can lower the chances of a dangerous fall, which is one of the most life-changing events I try to prevent for my patients. The approach is also kind to the nervous system. Slow lowering phases teach control, faster rising phases restore power, and rest days allow your body to knit the improvements into something lasting. Now the honest drawbacks. Progress that sticks is steady rather than dramatic, which means you need patience and a plan to keep showing up. Soreness can appear in the first couple of weeks, and while that can be normal, sharp pain is a warning sign that asks for a pause and a conversation with a professional. Form matters more than pride, so every repetition should be clean before you add more depth or load. Some medical conditions require adjustments, such as blood pressure that spikes with breath holding, so I will teach you to breathe in motion and to stop if you feel lightheaded, dizzy, or short of breath. Nutrition and sleep matter as well, because your muscles rebuild between sessions, not during them. That is why I always pair the training with a simple plan for protein spread through the day, and with a bedtime routine that calms the nervous system. If this sounds like a lot, take a breath with me. You do not need to tackle everything at once. In the next parts, I will give you 3 moves that I use in the clinic. Because they are joint-friendly, they scale up or down without fancy equipment, and they build the legs, the hips, the chest, the arms, and the center of your body in a way that transfers to real life. For now, your action step is simple. Repeat that sit to stand a few times at an easy pace, rest, and notice how your body feels. You have already begun. Stay with me, because I am about to show you exactly how to turn that small start into a week-by-week plan that makes you feel years younger when you walk across the room. Here is the danger most people never see coming. Your muscles do not vanish all at once. They fade slowly and quietly, like a candle burning down without anyone noticing until the room goes dark. The medical community has a name for this process, sarcopenia, and it begins earlier than most people realize. Starting in the 3rd decade of life, the body lets go of a few % of muscle every 10 years. After the age of 60, the pace quickens, and what was once a gradual drift can double, leaving the arms thinner, the thighs weaker, and the core less steady. This is not just a matter of vanity. It means that climbing a set of stairs becomes a challenge, that carrying a bag of groceries feels heavier than it should, and that a stumble on the sidewalk can end with a fracture that changes the course of the rest of your years. The hidden truth is that fat begins to slip into the spaces where active fibers used to live, and the muscles that once held you upright shrink and soften. Think of it like the beams of an old bridge being replaced with wet cardboard. It may still look like a bridge from the outside, but every step carries more risk. The upside to naming the problem is that once you see it clearly, you can do something about it. Research from the National Institutes of Health and reports published in journals of aging medicine confirm that this decline is not only predictable, but also reversible with the right approach. The strength you thought was lost forever can return when you send the correct signals through movement and resistance. The advantage of understanding the science is that it pulls away the mystery and gives you a lever you can use. But the disadvantage is that the numbers can feel overwhelming and the timeline discouraging. People often hear that they may lose nearly half of their muscle across late adulthood, and they give up before they begin. That is why I always break it down into simple steps that show progress quickly enough to keep you motivated. The balance to strike is between awareness and fear. I want you to recognize the urgency without sinking into despair. If you take away one action right now, let it be this. Stand near a counter. Place your hands lightly for balance, and shift your weight from one leg to the other a few times. Feel the muscles in your thighs and hips answer. That is proof that they are still alive, waiting for your invitation to grow stronger. This problem may sound universal, but the solution can be deeply personal. And in the next part, I will show you how a real patient used the simplest of exercises to turn her decline into a comeback. When I look inside the body of a patient who has struggled with weakness, what I see is not simply age, but a series of quiet trades. Muscle fibers that once fired like strong cables are swapped for strands that grow thin and silent, while fat slips into the empty spaces. That is the real face of sarcopenia. It is easy to think this change is carved in stone, yet the science now tells a different story. A landmark study published only months ago showed that older adults, even into their 70s, could rebuild lost muscle in about 3 months by following a specific method called progressive strength training. Imagine a wall of bricks that has settled over time. Each storm shakes it further until cracks spread through the foundation. If you slam more weight against it, the wall breaks faster. But if you lay down new bricks slowly, fitting each one with care, the wall begins to stand tall again. That is what happens inside your body when you apply controlled resistance. The beauty of this method is that it does not demand youth or perfect health. It asks only for steady effort, movements tailored to your joints, and a willingness to progress a little at a time. The benefits are striking. Muscles regain bulk and strength, balance improves, and daily tasks feel less daunting. Energy returns because strong tissue burns fuel more efficiently, and confidence rises as your body answers your commands with power. But let me also be clear about the limits. The progress is not overnight, and it cannot be rushed. Adding too much resistance too soon risks strain or injury, and skipping rest days denies the body the chance to rebuild. Some people may feel frustrated in the first weeks when soreness appears without obvious change in appearance. Others may have health conditions that require adjustment, such as heart disease or arthritis, and they need a program crafted with caution. The good news is that even with those constraints, the path remains open. The National Institute on Aging emphasizes that muscle cells can respond at any decade if they are given the right trigger. I have seen men and women who once shuffled with canes walk with confidence again, not because they chased intensity, but because they embraced consistency. If you take only one message from this, let it be that your muscles are waiting for an invitation. Every small contraction is like placing a brick back into the wall. Every controlled lift a signal to the body that strength still matters. The challenge is real, but the possibility is greater. In the next part, I will share a story of a woman who lived this change and proved that steady effort can turn frailty into freedom. Let me introduce you to Grace. She is 65, once vibrant but slowed by a back surgery and an injury that left her using a cane for even the shortest walks. I met her on a cool morning when the sun was just rising, and she confessed with a quiet frustration that she felt trapped in her own home. Her confidence eroded along with her muscle strength. It would have been easy to tell her that age does not forgive mistakes, but I knew that the right approach could change everything. We began slowly, with the simplest movements that ask the muscles to wake without overstraining the joints. She started with a sumo squat, using the support of her chair, and a 5-minute walk around her living room. At first, each repetition brought her fatigue and doubts, and there were moments when she wanted to stop. But we followed a principle that I have used with many older adults. Increase the challenge by only 20% each week. The tiny increments were barely noticeable day to day, yet over weeks, they added up to a transformation. In 3 months, Grace could walk 20 minutes without the cane, her balance steadier, her steps lighter. By 6 months, she joined friends on longer outings, attended social gatherings she had avoided, and regained a sense of independence she feared was gone forever. The upside of this story is clear. Slow, steady progress with the right guidance can restore strength, confidence, and mobility. The downside is that without patience and consistency, the same effort can falter. A missed week or skipping progression can stall gains. The lesson is that even when the body feels fragile, the mind and muscles are capable of remarkable adaptation. If you want to take one action from Grace's story today, stand near a sturdy surface, shift your weight gently from one leg to the other, and feel the muscles engage. That tiny movement is the first invitation for your body to remember how strong it can be. And that is just the beginning. In the next part, I will show the exact exercises that helped her rebuild the legs, hips, arms, and core, all without fancy equipment, and in a way that fits into your daily life. Now it is time to put words into action. Grace's comeback was built on 3 simple, joint-friendly exercises that I recommend to almost every patient over 50, and they can be scaled up or down, depending on how your body feels. The first exercise is a sumo squat, designed to awaken the biggest muscles in your legs, your quads and glutes, which are essential for climbing stairs, standing up from a low chair, or carrying groceries. Begin by standing with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width, and use a sturdy chair in front of you for balance if needed. Slowly bend at your hips and knees as though sitting into an invisible chair, keeping your back straight and your core engaged. Pause at the bottom for a couple of seconds, then push back up through the strength of your legs. The advantage is that this movement builds power and stability in your lower body while being gentle on the knees. The challenge is to keep your knees aligned and to avoid rushing, which could strain joints. You can hold a light weight or just your own body, adjusting for your comfort. The second exercise is the press up, which strengthens your chest, shoulders, arms, and core. Start in a modified version on your knees with hands placed slightly wider than shoulders. Lower yourself slowly, keeping your core tight, then push back up. If you have shoulder limitations, try it against a counter. The benefit is a noticeable gain in upper body strength and coordination for everyday movements like pushing a door or lifting a bag. The caution is to keep your form precise. Avoid collapsing the shoulders and progress gradually. The third exercise is the glute bridge, aimed at the hips, core, and legs, which helps with balance and stability. Lie on a mat or bed if needed, knees bent, feet flat. Tighten your core and press through your heels to lift your hips, aiming for a straight line from shoulders to knees. Pause briefly and lower slowly. The upside is improved core stability and glute strength that translates into safer movement and more energy for walking. The downside is if you rush or overarch the back, You may strain your lumbar spine, so take your time and focus on controlled motion. All 3 exercises together form a routine that awakens your muscles from a state of quiet, engages your nervous system, and prepares your body to respond with strength in real life. Start with a few repetitions and gradually increase over the weeks, paying attention to how your body feels and celebrate the small wins along the way. These movements do not require fancy equipment, just consistency, focus, and patience. And they create a foundation for all the progress that follows in your journey to feel years younger in your body. Now that you understand the exercises, let us turn them into a plan that your body can follow without feeling overwhelmed. The key is consistency, not intensity. I recommend starting with a simple schedule that balances movement with rest. For example, focus on lower body exercises on Monday, take a rest day on Tuesday, dedicate Wednesday to upper body, then rest on Thursday, and return to lower body exercises on Friday. The weekend can be flexible, adding gentle walks or stretching as you feel comfortable. This approach allows your muscles to recover, repair, and grow stronger while avoiding overuse injuries. The upside of following this schedule is that it builds a predictable rhythm, so your body anticipates the work, your confidence grows with each session, and progress accumulates steadily. The downside, which I have seen in many patients, is that skipping days or trying to push too hard can stall gains or cause minor setbacks. The goal is to honor the principle of gradual progression. Here is a mini action step you can take today. Set a timer for 10 minutes and repeat the sit to stand from a chair, feeling the muscles engage and breathing steadily with each movement. That small effort is a victory that your body recognizes and responds to. By the end of the week, you will have activated the major muscle groups, built momentum, and laid the foundation for the more structured exercises that follow. Remember, the journey to feeling stronger is made of small, consistent steps, and each one matters more than a dramatic single effort. In the next and final part, I will guide you through a way to bring it all together, tying strength, balance, and confidence into a sustainable weekly routine that will keep you moving freely for years to come. We have reached the final part of this journey, but it is only the beginning for you. Imagine walking across your home with steady steps, climbing stairs without hesitation, carrying your groceries without wincing, and feeling the energy returning to your body day by day. That is what Grace achieved, and it is what is possible for you when you follow a consistent, mindful approach to strength and balance. To help you make this transformation, I want to introduce a comprehensive plan called Strong Leg 60, designed specifically for adults over 50 who want to regain strength and confidence in everyday movements. Inside this program, you will find the same exercises I have shown, combined into a weekly routine that balances effort and rest, builds muscle, improves coordination, and supports your joints. The program is designed to fit into your life without fancy equipment, without long hours, and without feeling overwhelming. The advantage is that you get a proven step-by-step method that hundreds of older adults have used to move better, prevent falls, and feel empowered again. The caution is that even the best program works only if you show up consistently and respect your body's signals. Progress will be steady, but patience is required. Now, here is your invitation. If you are ready to take the first step, click the link below to explore Strong Leg 60 or watch the demonstration video. I also want you to be part of the conversation. Share your experience, leave a comment, and connect with others on the same journey. Your small victories can inspire someone else, and you may discover tips that make your journey even smoother. Remember, it is never too late to reclaim strength and independence. Each action you take today builds the foundation for years of confident, energized movement. Celebrate each step, share each win, and keep moving forward. The path is yours to create, and the community is here to walk alongside you.